The people gather in their seats, the murmur of quiet conversation rising, like the sound of a stream in the distance. The smell of coffee lingers in the back of the hall, mingling with the faint polish of the wooden pews. It is an ordinary morning to the senses of the flesh, yet heaven leans near, for one among them has been emptied before God and clothed with his presence. When the elders ask him to speak, he rises. His steps across the floor sound to human ears like soft thuds. But in the spirit every footfall echoes, like a herald announcing the arrival of the king. The man himself feels nothing of his own strength. His heart beats quietly in submission. His lips move in prayer even before his mouth opens to address the people. As he takes his place at the front, something shifts. The air grows heavy with a fragrance not of this world. It is like myrrh mingled with the sweetness of spring rain. The stillness is almost tangible. Children fidgeting in the pews suddenly quiet. A sacred hush draws across the room as though unseen hands have stilled the atmosphere. And then it happens. The Lord himself enters, not as an idea, not as a mere stirring of emotion. His presence descends like fire that cannot be touched, yet warms the bones. The light in the room seems brighter, though no candle is lit and no switch is touched. Every sound sharpens. Every breath is filled with the awareness of holiness. To spiritual eyes, angels gather in ranks. Along the edges of the congregation, their heads bowed, wings veiling their faces, before the majesty who has come to dwell. Those bound in fear feel chains slip from their shoulders. The proud feel their hearts struck with the weight of truth. Tears well in the eyes of the weary, who suddenly taste hope on their tongues. To some, it feels like cool water after long thirst. To others, it burns like a refining flame that exposes every hidden thought. The presence of the Lord wraps itself around each soul in the way they most need, never confused, never mistaken, always perfect. The man speaks, yet it is no longer his voice. His words pour forth with clarity like streams breaking from a rock in the desert. They carry weight, not because of eloquence, but because they are alive. Each syllable seems to ring, as though the Spirit himself strikes a bell deep within every heart. Scripture comes not as a lesson, but as a sword that divides soul and spirit, revealing what lies hidden and calling forth what God has planted. The enemy flees, for the darkness cannot remain when light stands in the room. Demons tremble and retreat to shadows outside the walls. Hidden sins rise to the surface, not to bring shame, but to bring deliverance. The room swells with the holy tension of conviction and comfort at once. Some fall to their knees, unable to stand beneath the glory. Others lift their hands as though their very bodies cannot contain the praise that erupts within. The sound of weeping fills one corner. In another, soft laughter of freedom begins to flow. The congregation does not look to the man any longer, for their eyes are fixed upon the one who has come among them. As John testified, he must increase, but I must decrease. John 3:30. The vessel is forgotten, the presence remembered. When at last the man stops speaking, no one moves quickly. Time itself seems suspended. The fragrance of heaven lingers. A holy awe clings to the walls, the chairs, the very air. Hearts know they have been pierced. Souls know they have been healed. Children know without words that God is near. And when the moment finally passes, the people leave marked forever. They may not all explain it, but something in them whispers, again and again, the Lord was here.